My name is Cathy Scalzo and I'm the Interim Chair of Australians Investing in Women, and I'm the trustee of the Grace and Emilio Foundation, my family foundation. Something that has been very formational in my thinking is I have lots of matriarchs in my family who were never able to reach, as women, their full potential. So I have a grandmother who was really bright at school, but by virtue of the economic circumstances at the time and also the gender norms of the time, she was never able to meet that full potential. And that's a story that I've had, in my growing up. I've seen exactly the same thing in the life of my mother-in-law, a very similar kind of tale and story. So that's been a really important thread for me. Then I had a career in diplomacy, and so I was in countries and places where I could see that although there's been, significant progress in some parts of the world, there are other parts of the world where these issues that my grandmother and my mother-in-law experienced are absolutely continuing, and in some cases for the worse. Gender apartheid in some parts of the world. So when I think about a gender lens, I think about the first time the concept was put to me. And it was put to me by way of example. And I found that one of the easiest ways to talk to people about a gender lens is to give them those examples where a gender lens hasn't been applied and what the consequences of that has been. In reverse, situations where a gender lens has been part of the mix of what is being discussed, and then the opportunity that you can generate from that, or the deeper impact that you can generate from that. An example I can think of where our family foundation has championed a gender lens has been working with an organisation we supported for a long time, which was Backtrack. And Backtrack does really terrific work, working with very disengaged young people who the system's really failed. But over a series of conversations, Backtrack was talking about, and we were sort of highlighting, that the cohort were largely boys, and they were increasingly expressing the fact that they felt they wanted to work better with girls, but they weren't quite sure how to go about it. And we just went along on the journey with that. And then quite recently, they purchased a farmhouse, or had gifted a property that had a farmhouse on it. And we decided to provide funding to them to enable that farmhouse to be turned into live-in accommodation that will specifically accommodate girls. So to provide, comfort and an appropriate environment for girls to actually be able to engage in the programs. Another great example of where a gender lens was applied from the outset in a very positive way was in response to the Miles Franklin Award, and Miles being one of Australia's greatest writers and being a woman. And the award, notwithstanding, over many years continued to be won by men. And a group of women came together, realising that this was the case, and set up the Stella Prize in order to champion women writers and women's stories. And that prize has gone from strength to strength, and done wonderful things for women's writing in this country, and for literature also being dispersed that is women's stories, women authors into schools and school programs. Because again, there was this real pattern of the stories only of men or written by men being on the curriculum in schools. A gender lens is something that we apply not just to benefit women and girls, but to benefit everybody in the community. And one of the ways that I think about that is how gender norms drive a whole range of behaviours, rules and expectations that limit boys and men as well. I think they benefit from a community where gender is not locked into stereotypes that limit their own ability to be the kind of people they want to be.